Once upon a time, in the bustling city of Gwanja, there lived a prosperous merchant named Idris. His wealth was known far and wide, and his caravans were loaded with fine silks, rare spices, and glittering jewels from distant lands. Despite his riches, Idris was a man who felt the weight of loneliness deeply. He longed for companionship, but he desired more than a single wife, believing that multiple partners would bring him more happiness, more sons, and a house bustling with life. So, he took not one, but 3 wives, each chosen for different qualities he thought would bring him the balance he craved. Safiya was his first wife, and her beauty was renowned throughout Gwanja. She was poised, graceful, and came from a well-respected family. Safiya's dark eyes had an intensity that captivated everyone she met, and her serene smile had won Idris's heart first. But her charm extended beyond appearances. She was known for her kindness and generosity. Safiya was the heart of the home, the one who managed the household's daily rhythm with quiet authority. She organized the servants, supervised the children, and made sure every meal was cooked with care. Idris loved her deeply, but as the years went by, he felt a gnawing in his heart, an itch for more excitement, more variety. Safiya noticed, of course. She had watched her husband grow restless, and her heart grew heavy with a mixture of love and sorrow. But she kept her fears to herself, for she loved Idris enough to let him have what he thought he needed. Idris's second wife, Zara, was the embodiment of fire. Young and spirited, she was known for her quick wit and fierce independence. Idris was entranced by her from the moment they met. Her laughter rang out like a melody, and her eyes sparkled with an intensity that left him breathless. Unlike Safiya's gentle and composed nature, Zara was wild and impulsive. She challenged Idris's ideas, tested his patience, and filled his life with a spark he hadn't known he was missing. Idris found her exhilarating, and he loved her passion and fiery spirit. Zara was not content to be just a wife. She wanted a voice in every decision, a seat at every table, and her opinion to be heard. But soon enough, this very fire that attracted Idris became the cause of tension. Zara's passionate nature often led to heated arguments, and her unfiltered words stirred jealousy among the other wives. Idris found himself torn between his love for her intensity and the friction it caused in his home. He began to feel the strain of balancing 2 different worlds, Safiya's quiet grace and Zara's fiery defiance. In the midst of this discord, Idris's eyes were drawn to Amina, a woman of quiet mystery. She was beautiful in an understated way, with a calmness that soothed his soul. Her silence was as alluring as her deep, thoughtful eyes, and she possessed a wisdom beyond her years. Amina was his third wife, the one who brought a certain tranquility to his household. She was reserved, preferring to observe rather than participate in the heated debates between Safiya and Zara. Unlike Zara, who demanded her place, or Safiya, who filled it naturally, Amina remained on the periphery, seemingly unaffected by the hierarchy within the household. Idris adored her gentleness, the peace she brought into his life when things became turbulent. But her reserved nature also left him puzzled. Though he loved her deeply, he sometimes felt he could not reach her, that there were parts of her heart closed off even to him. Amina was a mystery he could never fully unravel, which made him yearn for her even more. At first, Idris believed he had achieved a delicate balance, each wife bringing a unique quality to his life. But over time, the reality of polygamy's weight began to wear on him. Each wife needed his time, his love, and his devotion, and jealousy grew within the household. Safiya's sadness deepened as she saw Idris's attention divided. She tried to be understanding, but watching her husband drift further from her was a daily ache. Zara, on the other hand, became increasingly confrontational, challenging Idris more often and demanding a larger share of his time. Meanwhile, Amina, with her quiet nature, withdrew further, spending her days in her own corner of the household, observing the conflict with her watchful eyes. The children, too, felt the discord. They saw the rivalry between their mothers and grew confused, not knowing which alliance to support. Tension seeped into every corner of the once peaceful home. One evening, Idris, feeling overwhelmed, sought solace in Amina's presence. She welcomed him with a gentle smile, and as they sat in silence, Idris began to pour out his heart. He admitted his exhaustion, his regrets, and the burden he felt in trying to keep the peace. Amina listened quietly, her gaze fixed on him with an understanding that soothed his troubled heart. When he had finished, she spoke, her voice calm and measured. "You sought love and happiness in multiplicity, my husband," she began, "but love cannot be divided. It must be whole to flourish. You have 3 wives, each with her own desires, her own dreams. But you are only one man. You cannot be everything to everyone." Her words struck Idris deeply. He realized, with painful clarity, that in his pursuit of happiness, he had failed to nurture the true essence of love and had created a household filled with silent suffering. The following day, Idris gathered his wives. With Amina's wisdom lingering in his mind, he confessed his shortcomings and expressed his desire to change. He promised to nurture each relationship with equal care and attention, not merely dividing his time, but dedicating his presence. He encouraged Safiya, Zara, and Amina to express their needs openly, to let him know how he could mend what he had broken. Slowly, the wives began to open up, sharing their feelings, their resentments, and their regrets. As they spoke, they began to understand one another's pain, finding common ground where there had only been rivalry. Idris learned to appreciate Safiya's quiet strength, Zara's passionate loyalty, and Amina's gentle wisdom. The household gradually became more harmonious as Idris took each lesson to heart, realizing that love is not a conquest, but a shared journey. In time, the house of Idris the merchant found its balance. The wives, once rivals, became a family, united in purpose and respect for one another's strengths. The children grew up in an environment that, though unconventional, was filled with love and mutual understanding. Idris learned the true cost of love and the delicate balance required to sustain it. He realized that he was not a man with 3 wives, but a husband with one family. A family that required not only his provision, but his humility, care, and dedication. The story of Idris teaches us that love and unity cannot be forced, and ambition must be tempered with responsibility. In his quest to find happiness through abundance, Idris learned that true happiness lies not in numbers but in the strength of the bond we nurture with those we love. Polygamy, like any relationship, demands patience, respect, and commitment to the whole, not just the parts. Only through understanding, acceptance, and self-reflection did Idris find the harmony he sought, learning that love's greatest wealth is found in loyalty, unity, and the willingness to grow together.